stamping friends. It's Christine Ludwig from Christine Stamping Spot. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Albert, Alberta. And thank you for joining me today on my Mystery Monday video for Monday, April the 13th. Oh my gosh, we're halfway through April. I hope you guys all had a wonderful long Easter weekend last weekend. I wasn't here last Monday. I was still sort of visiting with family and recovering from Easter dinner and all of that kind of thing, but it was lovely. And I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday as well, for any of you that are celebrating. So today we are going to take a look at this Delicate Whispers bundle. This is actually one of our March online exclusive items. So it was released, I guess, last month. And it's part of a larger suite of products called the Delicate Dreams Suite. So you get some beautiful designer paper, the bundle, and there's some other pieces to it as well. So we're going to focus on using the bundle and the designer paper today to make a fun card. And I just want to quickly show you that designer paper. I believe I did use it once before, but I haven't used it with this Delicate Whispers bundle. So this is a stamp set. You get some really pretty little images here with some greetings, and then these are the dies. So quite a lot of them. Excuse me. They cut out, of course, the images here, and some of them also cut out some images. I believe from the designer paper. At least I know one of them does, because we're going to do it, use it today. So this is the bundle. And then this is the beautiful designer paper. It is a specialty paper. And when we talk about specialty, that means there's something a little extra in that paper. So this is the Delicate Dreams Specialty Designer Paper. And what's special about it is you have kind of a bronze sort of metallic going through some of the pages, okay? Now, this one also has, I don't know if you can tell, but it has one of our new in colors that's coming out for the next 2 years. And I don't have it yet. It is on order. So it is called, and I know these colors have all been announced, but if any of you haven't heard or want to be surprised, you can close your ears. But it is this color around this flower center. It is called Hydrangea Hue. It is this very beautiful purple, like hydrangeas kind of, right? So that is one of the colors in this designer paper. So I'm just going to go through the front images. So you have this beautiful one here. You have this one that has some more of the bronze leaf images there. This one that has a little bit of that glimmer metallic going through the leaves. This one, which is a lot of hydrangea hue in there. And this one has some crumb cake, some more of that metallic in here. And this is actually the sheet that I know you can cut these flowers out with one of the dies, because we are going to do that on our card. And then this beautiful metallic kind of wheat sort of flower pattern. And then on the back, you have this beautiful image for background. You have some nice squares. This beautiful Secret Sea, which has some of that bronze, the flowers in there, if you can see that. And some more of the crumb cake images. And this beautiful green. And some more crumb cake, kind of a linen look to this particular pattern of DSP. Very, very beautiful palette. Okay, so today's card, I was inspired by Sally Poole of Get Crafting with Sally, I think her blog is. She's a demo in the US. And it is actually a secret slider card. Ooh, doesn't that sound fun? I did something similar with this technique in December for a Christmas card. Excuse me. And hers works a little teeny bit different, but not really. The concept is kind of the same. So I just sort of switched up parts of it, not a ton of it, but a little bit. So let me show you the card. It is this one. And when you open it up, ta-da, this slides out, this inner panel here. Okay, so that makes it kind of fun when the recipient opens the card. So I just love it with this designer paper here. And I've added a couple of extra layers with the Secret C cardstock because, like I've mentioned, I love it. So that's kind of something I've done a little bit differently. Okay, so let's try to put this together. So you're going to start with a piece of basic white. Now this is cut at 9 inches across, 5.5 down, and then you're going to score it twice at 3 inches and 7.25 inches. Okay, so this is what's going to make those flaps. All right. So by cutting it at these dimensions, unless I wasn't cutting it in a certain way, I would think you would only get one card out of one piece of basic white, just because it's 9 inches and the 5.5, just a little bit too much to or too wide to get two cards out of one sheet. But very special card though. Okay, so this is going to be our base. All right. So let's start with decorating this white panel and this inside left. Maybe we'll do our mechanism first and then we'll decorate our outside. Okay, maybe we can do that then. All right, so hopefully I have these measurements correct because of that extra panel that I've added. So for the left inside, I will post these measurements on the post, and this will also, the video will be saved to YouTube. So if you want to check it out later on Christine Stamping Spot on YouTube, feel free to do that and subscribe when you're there. That would be lovely. And the measurements will also be on the Facebook post here. Okay. So for the inside, I've taken a piece of Secret C, and let me just double check. This is cut at 5 3/8 by 2 7/8. Okay, so we're using a few 1/8 inches here. So this is going to go there, and then we have a piece of that designer paper with that beautiful bronze metallic. This is going to go on top. And this is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. You know what? I'm just going to double check so I have it right for you. I don't want to tell you wrong. Yeah, 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so these are going to get layered on top of each other. Okay, so you're going to have just a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a border, I should say, around this designer paper. I won't put it on too crooked. Come on. Another reason not to add a ton of adhesive on your paper, because it's a little bit tricky then to get it off if it's not positioned quite right. All right, so let's put this on as well. And we will put that on the left inside panel, okay? So again, we're going to have just a little bit of a border, an edge around the Secret C. Now, I added the Secret C as an extra panel. Sally did not. She just cut her designer paper and just put that down flat, which is great. You can do that too. But I just love the Secret C and how that pop of the dark blue adds to the card. Okay, so for our right panel, we have another Secret C layer and some more of that designer paper. So the Secret C is measured at 5 3/8 by 2 7/8, and the designer paper is measured at 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. Okay, like I say, don't worry too much about the measurements here. I will write them down so you can catch them. I just wanted to sort of mention it as I was going. Okay, so again, a little bit of a border. And then we will put this one on the outside right. So I'm just going to flatten this out. Okay, make sure it is going the right direction. Okay, so we will put this on this outside right. Okay, so then this is sort of what it looks for now. Okay, so now we are going to work on that slider piece. Okay, that comes like this. So for that, I've cut another piece of Secret C, and this one is cut at 4 3/8 by 3 1/4. No, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Slider panel 4 1/2 by 3 3/4, and you're going to score it at 3/8 of an inch on this left side. Okay, so that would be the, just to tell you the right measurement, that would be the 3 3/4 side. Nope, that would be on this side down. So the, oh, I'm just trying to find my measurements here. The slider, 4 1/2. Yeah, 4 1/2 side, 4 1/2 by 3 3/4. That's what we have. And you're going to do that 3/8 of an inch score line right here. So on this little strip, we are going to add some tear and tape because we don't want this to come loose, because this is what's going to pull that slider piece out. Okay, so I'm just going to put a strip of tear and tape. I find it's, you know, the tear and tape is really good for something like this. It's nice and strong. Okay, so when you position this inside here, you're going to have the fold is going to be like, you're going to have the mountain fold. So this part is going to face, it will eventually face down. Okay, so you're going to position this right in the center towards this score line and try to center it from top to bottom. I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to sort of eyeball it. And you want it just not on the score line, but just to the right of it. Okay, and then just sort of eyeball it. If you feel more comfortable measuring it, that it is straight, by all means, go ahead and do that. I'm just going to eyeball it like so. And with this, the tear and tape exposed, I'm going to take this left panel and fold it on top. Okay, so then when it slides, it's going to be hidden underneath. All right, and this is what is going to be tucked underneath this right edge. Okay, so that's what is going to cause the slider to pull. Now we're going to put a piece of basic white on top, but I'm going to just stamp my greeting and whatever stamping you would like to do. If you want to leave it blank, you can do that as well. So I'm going to take the Thank You Kindly image from the stamp set. I'm going to stamp it in Secret C. Now, just a thing to point out, okay, when this is closed here, this flap, or sorry, when it's pulled open, I know I haven't attached this yet because I want to stamp first, but when this is open, don't forget this flap is going to be on top. So when you stamp, you're not going to stamp right in the center. You're going to stamp a little bit more to the left, okay? Because then when this is closed, it will look like it's centered. So to do that, I am just going to lay my white on top of where it will be. I'm going to close this panel just like this, and then I'm going to stamp it in this position, because that way I will know about where the center point is. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it. Hopefully this is straight. Please excuse my head. I'm going to stamp it a little more to the top because I still want to write a little bit here. And then I'm just going to add a little flower. I can take this off now because it doesn't matter where this goes. I'm just going to add a little flower or 2 or 3 down at the bottom. Okay, so now we can put this on top of our Secret C here. Okay, so let us just put this on top. Okay, so again, there's going to be just a little bit of a border around, and we will stick that down. Okay, so now when this is closed, it's going to kind of pop out like this, right? Okay, so in order to put this piece down here, we're just going to put some tear and tape underneath at the top and at the bottom, and that will secure this panel down so it doesn't come apart when we do the slide. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it this way. That's just easier for me. So you're just going to put a little strip right at, let me do this side first, right at the edge, okay, and just before that score line. You don't want to go too far down because you don't want it to hit your slider piece. And then we will do another one right here, just in front of that score line again, okay? All right, so then we can peel off that backing. And then fold this over and just give it a press at the top and at the bottom. Okay, so now you can see how that's going to work. So the slider does not come all the way out. Part of that on the right side still stays tucked underneath this right panel. Okay, so then it doesn't really flop around. Isn't that so cool? I just love how that works. I think that's great. Okay, so now we're going to decorate our front panel. So again, I have a piece of Secret C, and this front panel is 5 3/8 by 2 7/8, and then our white is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. Now, after I cut the white, I did emboss it in, where's my embossing folder? I did have it here to show you. Oh, here it is, which one I used. So I used the Beautiful Pattern embossing folder. This is part of another suite, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but it is retiring. Okay, so just so you know, that's where this came from, but you could use whatever embossing folder you want, right? Okay, so this is going to go on top of our Secret C. Oh, I wish I could remember the name of that suite. I was going to write it down so I didn't forget to tell you, but this is called Beautiful Pattern. So it's with Beautiful something is the suite. So if you just Google or search for Beautiful Pattern on the Stampin' Up! Website, this will come up. Once you click that image, the whole suite will come up that this is a part of. Okay, so that's another way to find out what suite that belongs to. The one with the beautiful pinkish floral paper. Oh, just loved it. Love it. Okay, so then we will put this on our left outside panel. Okay, now this embossing folder does not matter which is up or down. Okay, so that will be our front. Okay, like so. So then we're just going to decorate it a little bit with some of the images from the stamp set. So I stamped this large image on a scrap piece of basic white, and I stamped it in Secret C. And then I colored it in. Now, if you can believe it, I don't have the Secret Sea blends. I don't know why, but I don't. And I don't have, I can't remember. Oh, I don't have my hydrangea hue here either. Otherwise, I could have colored in that. But I did pull out the Azure Afternoon blends. I thought it's a little bit of a lighter blue. Um, and that's just what I colored these leaves and little posy images out of. These are from the dies, okay? So you pull out those images. I did use an adhesive sheet on those because I could not imagine myself trying to put tiny bits of glue on the back. That's just me. If you feel comfortable just using glue, you don't need very much, just enough to tack those down. And then we're going to tuck those under. And this is that designer paper image that I cut out with the die. So we have the matching die to cut this image out. Okay, so let me get my pieces that I did ahead of time. So we are going to put our florals, our little posies on with some dimensionals. Okay, we will pop that up a little. And then it will also be a little bit easier to tuck some of those sort of branchy type of images. I don't even know what you would call those. I don't know. They're so thin and fine. Really kind of neat. Kind of like grassy type of images there. Very interesting. Okay, so this, I think I'm going to move this one a little bit higher. I found after I did that, I found it was a teeny bit low. But wherever you feel comfortable with, or whatever angle you would like to put it at. So we have actually two of these images. I stamped the right, sort of the right bending. This is sort of a left bending. So we have two of them. So you could pick one or the other or both, whatever you would like. Okay. And then we are going to add our little pieces here. Now I'm going to trim off just the bottom a bit because I find that a little bit long. Now, like I said, I did put these on an adhesive sheet, so the trick is going to be getting this off. So if you have fingernails or you take your pick tool, that's probably the easiest way to get this off. Okay. So this, I think we shall tuck underneath here. However you like, if you want it to go straight up or at a bit of a curve, you can do that. Okay, now we have the second one. So let's tuck this under, maybe I'll trim a little bit of that off the bottom too. And hope it doesn't crash into those dimensionals. That's very delicate, so just be careful not to rip or tear. And then this last sort of branch image, we're going to add, oh, my goodness. Okay, this is really small, really narrow. And let me see if I can get this off with my fingernails. Otherwise, I will bring out that take your pick tool. Oh, my goodness. That is really fine, isn't it? Wow, very delicate. Okay, so yes, you may want to try glue if this is, going to try your patience a little bit. Okay, I think I got part of it. There we go. Okay, so this I'm definitely going to snip off a bit. That's a very long stem. So I'm going to put this one underneath here. And then our little floral piece, I'm going to pop that up with some dimensionals as well. So I'm right at the end of my package here. I have to start using these outside pieces. Okay, 2 is good. And let's pop that on, whichever direction you like. I'm just going to sort of cover up that bottom branch a little, maybe like so. Okay, and then we're going to add a few little embellishments. So these are the Moody Palette Glossy Dots, which are so fun. I love the color palette in here. You've got your white, your cloud cover, your old olive, and your secret sea. I think these are just awesome. So I'm gonna use, of course, the secret sea ones. Just stick about 3. I'll just use the little ones because this is all so dainty to me. I think the big ones might feel a little out of place. I'm not sure. And there you go. There is your secret slider card. Fun little surprise for the recipient when they open it. I think that's just great. Okay, everybody, I hope you'll give that project a try. Try it with any designer paper or stamp set. It would work with anything. Makes for a fun Christmas card too, or a birthday, whatever occasion you would like to use it for. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that project, and we will see you next time. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.